Welcome home, Luigi. Yes, welcome to New York, baby.
Don't shoot us.
Don't shoot.
Really excited.
Well, welcome back to another episode of The Funny Please. I'm your host, Ashley Ryan, and today we are joined by someone who has very good taste. I met them at a mic recently, or they saw me at a mic and then invited me to do a show because they thought I was so good. So, yes, best taste in the world. This is Garry Hannon.
Hi. What's going on, guys?
He's also a comedian.
Yeah, I try.
How long have you been doing comedy?
Over a decade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just hasn't clicked yet. Maybe this is my big moment.
No, you were doing great the other night. I loved it.
No, I just, I'm not famous yet.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the adjective.
Well, that's why we're here today,
Hello.
baby. And we're
Hello.
here for the fame and the fortune. And then I'm also joined today by a drag queen and also comedian and podcaster. You have so many talents. Tomi Grainger.
Hi guys, very excited to be here. I'm a big fan of the podcast, and so when Ashley asked me to be on, I was like, "Hell's yeah!"
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And sorry if my voice is a little hoarse today. Okay, so after
What were
the
you doing last night?
Well, okay, so I was on his show 2 days ago in Brooklyn, which was wonderful, by the way. It was at a bar, and sometimes you're kind of worried when you go to a bar. You're like, are people going to be paying attention to me, or are they going to be quiet? Like, everyone was paying such good attention. The audience had like the best feedback, whatever.
Yay.
But anyway, after the show, I went and helped a fireman with his hose, and then my like voice is like,
Wow.
yeah.
I wasn't quite expecting that to be the end of the story, but good
Yeah,
on you.
I love helping the firemen, especially around the holidays. As you see, we have a Yule log going behind us, which is funny because I saw a TikTok recently that someone called the fire department because they saw a Yule log like on someone's like huge TV, and they thought the building next to them was on fire.
Okay.
Dear.
So
We're
be
doomed.
aware of Yule log awareness season.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Look before you leap.
But yeah, I love my firemen. I always say you can't judge a city until you've slept with the firemen. I'm going to Salt Lake City on Saturday, and a fireman's going to pick me up at the airport and take me to my parents' house. And
Are you kidding
he's
me?
going to, no, I'm not.
Did you just do how does that happen, Ashley? Did you do a call out? Is there like an app for firemen?
I think just because they all like really take good care of their body, so I'm more naturally inclined to like hook up with them when they like
Right.
message me and respond.
I've never met a fireman.
No.
Really?
No, I've
Oh,
never met a fireman. And I live in a country that is like, there's bushfire
Burning,
season every year. It's burning. Half the country's on fire half the year.
Well, you better start the fire.
Oh, that was so
I live in a building where the firemen came in to do an inspection once, and they showed up. It was just me in the building. I just gotten out of the shower. I wasn't naked. I had a robe on, but they had to go inspect the whole inside of the building, and there was 5 of them, and they all were like 6 feet tall. They were all gorgeous, and I literally
Right.
couldn't form sentences. I was just like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm surprised they didn't whip their dick out and just shove it in my mouth, but
Yeah, that happened to me here. They came and like were banging on the door, and they had to evacuate the whole building because the building behind us, you can see, that's where the crane fell in New York City.
Oh,
That's where the
that's
big crane
right.
incident, and it fell on the building like across from us, and they thought that the crane could still fall onto my building. And so they had to go through all 63 floors, knock on every single door.
Oh my God.
Don't they have like an alarm system? Just like evacuate?
Um,
This is New York.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that. But yeah, they had like personal firemen people come to our door, and I was mad because I was like, I was
got
still
the ugly one?
I was asleep when it happened, and so I just like wasn't quite ready for them, presentable.
What do you mean you were asleep? You're basically ready.
But yeah, when we walked out of the lobby, like I could only grab my laptop, which I had to work that day, so I didn't have time to grab anything really. And when I left the building, it was mobs and like every single fire truck in New York City was in front of my building. And I was like, oh no, like I wish I could have like put a little powder on before taking my time, but they were like so serious and making me leave. So anyway, moving on from firemen, what brings us all together today is we want to extend a warm welcome to Luigi and his homecoming today. I think just this afternoon he will be arriving in New York City.
He's arrived.
Yeah. Oh, he has arrived.
Yeah.
What time did he arrive?
I don't know. I saw it like on a feed a few minutes before he arrived.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Where is he staying?
I don't know. Prisons? Yeah, one of the prisons.
Can we find out? Like,
Alcatraz?
Yeah, let's go for a visit.
Okay. Excursion after this field trip.
But yeah, we're talking about Luigi Mangione, of course. We had to do an impromptu podcast. It's our.
I feel like you have to pronounce it with a bit of like a Luigi.
Luigi
Yeah.
Mangione.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not racist, but no, I'm just kidding.
No, it's how they would pronounce it. I don't know. I was fucking it up
Is
for
he
so long.
even
I was calling
Italian?
him Mario
Yes,
for
yeah,
so
he's
long.
Italian.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Look
put
at
the
his
extra
name.
in extradition.
Extradition. Okay. But yeah, what do we think of him? Let's get to the most important question that's on the top of everyone's mind. Is Luigi your type?
Yes, like 100%.
Yeah, you'd say 100%.
I'm married to an Italian, so yeah.
Oh, you're married to an
Okay.
Italian. Does he like resemble him at all or no?
No.
No, okay.
Well,
But-
Italians do have big dicks normally, like
Okay.
statistically. I mean, I think that's a bit of a loaded question because physically, is he my type? Yes. Murderer, not really my type.
Okay.
Overall, so we'll unpack into that, but like physically, absolutely.
So where do you think you draw the line with that? Like
Felony charges, you
Murder.
know, murder.
felony charges. Okay, that could be like anybody.
Well, like Donald.
Yeah.
Maybe with a criminal record.
Just
that
like
is
one insider trade.
a paper trail of bad behavior.
A paper trail bad behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking about this too, and at first I wasn't quite sure if he was my type, but then I thought about all the guys I've dated, and they've all kind of resembled him in like a small way. Like my first boyfriend was Jewish, had like the curly hair and stuff. Second boyfriend also Jewish, but he was like more like an Italian vibe. Furry and muscly and everything.
You were like the hairy dudes though.
Yeah.
But Luigi's not hairy.
Yeah, well, he has a painted chest, so we don't know what's under all that paint.
Right.
So. His brows are like bushes, though.
Yeah,
what are you
that's a
talking
head of
about?
hair, too.
That's hairy. That counts as hair. But
Those eyebrows.
yeah. Anyway, I was like, unrelated to this, I was like going through my phone, like the little hidden folder on your phone.
Yes.
I happened to be going through that last night, and then
How many hours did that take?
And I like got to like January 2022, and I had the thought, oh my God, I hooked up with Luigi.
Did you actually?
Like I had sex with Luigi. I don't know. Do you guys want to?
Are you joking?
You're-
fucked.
Okay, it's a little explicit. Do you guys want to see?
Yes.
I thought this was him like at 2 a.m. last night, and I sent it to all my friends.
It looks a little like him.
It's so close. It's
but
so
his
close.
eyebrows aren't as bushy.
I know. They were just coming in, and it was 2 years ago. But I sent it to all my friends. I was like, guys, like, could I sell this to TMZ? Would they think it's him?
You probably could.
Because like, how much would that be worth if it actually was him? It would be like at least 50 million.
Well, you know how
like,
they
right?
did the Timothy Chalamet lookalike competition? Maybe you could host a Luigi
Yeah.
lookalike in New York. Okay, that would go down really.
But-
Like, you'd
Yeah.
probably be cancelled for that, let's be real.
Yeah, anyways.
But it's a fairly good resemblance. I mean, he just looks like another Italian
That's a very
to me,
beautiful
but-
art-directed shot, too.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I can't see any
He has,
dick
like,
here, though.
murder
It's
eyes.
disappointing. He has
I know,
murder eyes.
I know it's like an explicit but non-explicit photo.
Funny you mentioned this because I don't know if it really hit the New York news. I know a lot of the American gays knew about it, but during World Pride in Australia, like it was a year ago? Yeah, like a year ago?
Yeah,
Sorry,
or 2 years ago.
That we have the trial's still on. We had a gay police officer murder a gay couple, like out of hate. And it's like still going through the news, but everyone saw the photos and they were like, oh, he's kind of hot. And then all these people came out saying,
Wait, the
like,
police officer was gay or the couple was gay?
they're all gay. All of
Oh,
them,
everyone
all
was
three.
gay.
It was a gay. They were calling it a gay triangle, but it wasn't.
was an
really.
orgy.
It wasn't
Or
really. No,
threesome.
he had like gone on one date with this guy, and he like cold blooded him and like shot them with a police gun, and dumped the bodies like in different parts of the country.
How
It was, like,
big was the dick
wild.
though on the one he shot? Like,
Well, the funny thing is that my housemate turns to me and goes, "Oh my god, I sucked his dick a couple of weeks ago," and then all these
wait,
people
the
coming out-
policeman or
yeah,
what?
the policeman.
Okay. I did hook up with a
Trauma.
policeman when I was in King's Cross, so I don't know.
There's a lot of police officers around there. I mean, the Cross is like historically, so this is for everyone to know, King's Cross in Sydney, Australia is kind of where like the drag, trans, queer culture kind of formed across the entire country. And it became like this hub for, I don't know, I would say debauchery, but like fun. It was like the fun part of Australia.
Yeah.
And then they shut it all down and like gentrified it and everything. So now it's like just, there's a few strip bars that are all straight.
Yeah.
So it's like the West Village, kind of.
Yeah.
Which used to be really, really tangy and gross, and now it's all bougie.
It was like fun late night, and I was like a guy at the time. I hadn't transitioned yet, And so I'd get approached by like the streetwalkers and they'd be like $40. And I'd be like, no,
like, it was Hooker Central.
I'm just trying to find Auk.
was
Where's
so
Auk?
fun.
And then I'd walk away and they'd be like 20. I was like, wait, what? 20? Like, you're going that low, right?
Yeah.
Free?
Unfortunately, then they made it into like one of the most expensive suburbs in the entire country. But imagine that. They just like kind of outlawed it all and they were like, now we're going to, because they realize it's such prime real estate. So like, let's get rid of the hookers and like build overinflated apartments instead. Yeah.
All right. Well, we discussed if we're attracted to him. So it's a yes for 2 of us and a no for 1 because of the felony. Let's see what's next.
Well, I would say murder, not really felony, but you know.
Do you believe Luigi deserves a prison sentence?
Yeah, I mean,
Garry?
he killed somebody. He does. You can think he's hot, but he also committed a heinous crime.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm not mad that guy's dead. Like I could care less actually. But he did kill somebody. But he's hot, so it's like one of those things where I hope he gets a nice cell though.
Alec Baldwin also killed somebody.
Yeah. Well, that was an accident.
No, I don't like him though.
That was look, I understand that the victim may not have been like the most desirable person in the eyes of many Americans. We don't really know his backstory. We don't really know like what was going on inside of the healthcare company that he was running as well. And I think it's really interesting that suddenly when they're hot, we kind of give them a little bit of leniency because we're like, oh, but he's really sexy, so he should have like less time. It's like this age-old idea that like if you're pretty, you get privilege.
Yeah. Well, I think people were already discussing like kind of what it meant before we even knew that it was Luigi. Like they're like, oh, this is why this happened. And everyone kind of came out of the closet and was sharing their own stories of their healthcare stuff. And there's a lot of trauma that came out from it.
But there's other ways to do it. And I think it's, to me, as an Australian, I look at this and I think this is very classic American way of doing this. Like, get our arms and let's just fucking kill the bastard.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. But does that also, it sends a negative image to the rest of the world as well, that like on a broader level, it's like the problem again is gun violence.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're going to have guns, why can't we use them? That's what I say. No, I'm just kidding. At least it wasn't a school this time.
Well, the only guns I actually want to see is on a guy's bicep.
Yeah, true.
Sun's out.
But yeah, I actually do think, Luigi should do at least 15 years on a reality show with Anna Delvey. I think his punishment is they should force him to marry her, and we should be able to watch it as Americans. You know, she was a former CEO, so
Well, it's not too far from what could be the reality in America. We had a convicted criminal in Australia. Her name was Chappelle Corby. She smuggled, allegedly, when she was convicted, a few kilograms of cannabis into Bali, and it's like the death sentence for that. Anyway, she got like 15 years. I think she got let out like 3 or 4 years early, and then she came back to Australia and she did Dancing with the Stars. She wrote a book.
Well, that's what Anna Delvey did. Yeah,
she did, but she became famous off it. She kind of made a lot of money. She's a millionaire now off being caught smuggling marijuana in a surfing boogie board into Bali.
In a boogie board?
In a boogie board.
What?
Yeah.
That's really creative.
And now she sells resin clocks on TikTok.
Oh my God. Wait, so she like put like the actual plant. She just didn't bring a vape because I think you could easily sneak a vape in.
No, it was like
or
actual
whatever.
cannabis, like the stuff.
Bricks.
It was like
God.
it was like bricks. It was kind of.
They
yeah,
don't
but it was
have
like,
anything in Bali that you could do that's like.
So for whatever reason in Bali, cannabis is like the worst of all of them.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Are shrooms legal there? Because they're legal in Thailand.
No, so marijuana and mushrooms are legal in Thailand, but Bali is Indonesia, and it's a Muslim country for large parts of Indonesia. I think Bali is more like spirit. I don't know. It's not Muslim though. It's kind of like its own little pocket of Indonesia. But yeah, like drugs are a no go over there. Although liquid ketamine is sold at the chemist, which is quite interesting.
Wait,
like they're very anti-drug, but liquid ketamine.
What is liquid ketamine?
Well,
like,
ketamine is like a liquid that's used to tranquilize horses, so they sell it at the pharmacy.
It's
okay.
also used as anti-anxiety, and you can get a prescription. It's very expensive.
Yeah, but not in Bali. I don't know why it's like everything's like
so random.
highly illegal, but
Being
they
gay
sell
is
liquid
illegal there.
ketamine
hey, yeah, that's not bad. I'll settle with
in
that.
Indonesia.
Indonesia,
Yeah, but there's like gay bars, so it's very strange. I think they kind of just turn a blind eye to it all.
Okay.
Like they have great drag shows in Bali, heaps. It's great.
But yeah, I do kind of wonder what's going to happen with this sentence. As we do know, he has access to a lot of money. People are like doing fundraisers for him, and he comes from a wealthy family. I think his like granddad, he like didn't like the country club that he was going to, so he like opened a new country club or something. Like that kind of wealth.
Right.
Yeah.
So my biggest, the thing I really wanted to unpack is why did he like hide out at McDonald's? So he got caught.
Yeah.
For a rich boy who just committed a murder,
Because
he
he
goes
was
to McDonald's.
mad at corporate America, and then he like
goes
goes
to a bigger
Gets
corporation.
a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
But
Email.
I mean, that could be. He could do a collab with McDonald's because, like, I kind of want to know how he maintains that 6-pack and eats. Like, what is he ordering? Like, you know,
I think at that point he was probably like, "Fuck, this is the last good meal."
He's pretty young though, right? Is he in his 30s?
He's 26. Yeah.
He won't get fat for a while. Trust me.
He's in prison. Oh, maybe
He'll
not.
get very skinny in prison.
He'll be hauled out in prison for sure. He'll be the flavor of the month.
Well,
You better not drop any
supposedly
of this.
he's being like celebrated in prison. Like the prisoners are like, fellow inmates are like.
Oh, he might be
applauding.
king of the king of the prison.
They hate corporate America just as much as he does.
Right.
They would kill. They'd kill. I mean, the fact they killed a CEO who's like beyond rich and probably doesn't care about any other human beings in the whole wide world. They're probably happy he did it.
But I thought being gay was a problem in prison, depending where you being out
Depends-
openly
it
gay. I
depends-
mean,
it
they're all
depends on
gay
where
in
you
prison.
fall on the.
Wait,
on the
Luigi's
hierarchy.
gay?
Isn't he gay? Oh, I just assumed he was.
I don't think he's gay. No.
Oh, I just made an assumption. If they're hot, I just
We
assumed
don't
they're gay.
know yet.
He's too groomed to be, but he's
Yeah,
also
he's
rich.
gay. Although would a gay do that? Yeah, they would.
Yeah, in your country.
Well, yeah, that's an anomaly. That's
Yes.
very rare.
Yeah, I don't know. Was he on prep? That's how we know.
We'll have to ask the health. Ask his doctor. I want to know if
We
he had
can
health
find that.
insurance.
I don't think he was gay. He looked like a straight guy, but I don't know. We'll see. He might have to settle in prison if he's stuck there. But yeah. Okay. So something that came out after he started getting a lot of attention was, I believe, the police like posted a photo of him. He had like peed his pants. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. I don't. Hopefully this isn't like a deep fake and I'm like not giving into it. But yeah, like there's like a photo of him that he like wet his jeans he was wearing. Which typically happens if you're being like handcuffed and you have to go to the bathroom and they don't let you go, like because they'll do it for many hours at a time. You don't like have control really, and I don't know. I thought that was really like in poor taste to post that because like if he was innocent, like if he was framed somehow, like that's like defamation, I think, and it'd be funny if he launched a lawsuit at them for that.
Yeah.
I think what they try to do in a lot of these instances, well, the media does anyway, they don't want to position alleged murderers in a positive light in any way. So they will find the worst photo of them, right?
Yes.
Like, I like to all the time.
Well, they did not do a good job with that. They've been,
well, they found other photos, but like the ones from,
I
like,
haven't
obviously-
seen a bad photo of him.
Well, the peeing the pants, right?
I know he still looks good though. It's still hot.
peeing his
He's
pants.
like, whoopsies.
was it during like a perp walk or something when they posted the picture? Or?
It was just like him, like in jail. Maybe like he was being in the interrogation room or something, or he just got in there.
Well, that's abuse. Wait, so I know you have. I have also. Have you been arrested ever?
No.
Okay. So
Why
What
not?
were you arrested for?
I was I was arrested for putting up signs in the East Village for a club I was promoting. And I was
They
What?
arrest you for that? Oh, I did that in Germany when I just started a drag bar in Germany, and I just put it up everywhere.
What
'cause
kind
it's
of
very-
signs were you
It
putting
was
up?
just a party for a Thanksgiving night at a bar I worked at, and I was in this village. I was dressed up. I was wearing like Dries Van Note, and I had these knee-high Converse sneakers on that laced up, and they won't let you have anything on in jail that you could hang yourself with. So I take off my belt, so my pants fell down,
Wait.
and I take off my shoes with my laces off, and I kind of clomp around barefoot while I was in jail.
Did you put the flyers around your cell and on everyone? Just like pass
They
them out.
confiscated-
Be like, hey guys.
They confiscated them. It's like this I didn't get. I was.
Were you like taping them
very
to telephone
harsh.
poles? Like, what was
Yeah.
illegal? That okay? So that's
And
illegal.
I was doing it on a Tuesday night, and that's the one night that they would ticket for it. And because my friend I was doing it with didn't have an ID, we got taken to the precinct. We were booked, but we were just in the cells that were in the police station. We didn't go to the
Wow, I had no idea
hole.
that's illegal. I've like seen
Now
people.
you know. I mean, I don't know if they enforce it now, but it was like the dumbest
That
thing to
seems
get arrested
very
for.
aggressive.
It was, and they handcuffed me on 2nd Avenue in St. Mark's, and I was like, I'm going to see someone I know. I'm going to see someone. I'll be there. Like,
Did you pee your pants?
I didn't.
Wait, how much was the bail for that?
There was no, they just gave me community service. So, but it was like 6 hours in the jail cell.
Wow, that's fucked.
Yeah, was
Was
it
it a bad
good
poster?
event?
Was it a photo? Was it a naked
it's
poster?
It was a terrible Thanksgiving poster where I just drew my hand and drew a turkey on it and said, "Come get basted at the bar I was working at."
Come get
Come
basted.
get basted. I was in my 30s. It was,
I love
I was
that.
optimistic about life.
So Ashley, have you been arrested?
Yeah, I've been arrested. We've talked about that a little bit on the podcast.
Okay, right.
But yeah, I sued them. So you know,
Did you win? Is the question.
you can see my apartment. Take a look around. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing.
Yeah, so you can sue the police. They'll try to get out of it because they're like qualified immunity, but they can't get out of civil rights cases.
Yeah, they have
so,
to pay.
Yeah, they'll typically settle because they don't want to. It costs them a lot of resources too. Like federal court is very, very expensive. It's like there's like normal court and then there's federal court. It's like another level.
So you're telling me that you kind of want to be arrested unfairly, so then you can sue and you can just live off that for a short period.
I mean, you could still die when you're in prison, so I don't know. Like, especially if they put you in like the wrong one, like they did me. But
oh fuck, okay.
yeah. But I don't know if Luigi was there, maybe it wouldn't be so
be
bad.
Like, hi.
Alrighty, so yeah, this has like created like a lot of discussion. Have you guys ever like been affected by like the insurance companies or like had stuff delayed, denied, or deposed? I don't know what the deposed part means.
I hate insurance companies with a passion. Like
And why is that?
My husband and I pay our own insurance, and we have Obamacare. It helps, but it's still almost $1,200 a month, and we get shitty service.
Right.
So I've had the only time my insurance works is when I have had like an emergency, like an appendectomy, or I fainted on a plane a couple of months ago, and that is a cover all. But then, like going to the doctors and just getting referral to go see like a psychiatrist or psychologist is impossible.
Well, I just find most like it's always like the one thing that you need to have done operation wise or see a specialist, and they're like, well, that's not covered under your healthcare plan. But thankfully, I just like when I was moving healthcare, because I left my full-time job and worked for myself, so I had healthcare under the company. I had to go and buy my own.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck, that's one reason why you don't leave your full-time job. And I used ChatGPT, and I was like, this is like all the ones I'm looking at. This is all the things I may think I may need to be seeing, like, or have a potential surgery down the track, knowing any health conditions I have. And then it spat out like a ranking system. So I made sure that I bought the one that would cover me, that would cost the least
Yes.
Right.
for what I would potentially need. Because I think a lot of them they're very scammy. They're not very like
Wait, but you're in Australia there. Is
Yes.
it different? Because here they
So
could be for profit, which is
yeah, they still private health insurance. Yeah, still for
Okay.
profit. But what the Australian government introduced, it's still kind of a bit weird. But they basically made every healthcare provider create like a bronze, silver, and gold package. They have others as well. But the idea is that the bronzes are all quite similar, the silvers are all quite similar, the golds are all quite similar, even though like their plans are vastly different. So try and like simplify it for most people. It's like, do you want the bronze, the gold, or the silver? And so it kind of works to an extent. They all don't cover quite the same things, but it at least helps. But our private healthcare is like nothing in comparison to yours, much cheaper.
much
I think
cheaper.
mine's like $250 a month.
Okay.
That's insane.
But does everyone in Australia get healthcare or?
So we have Medicare, which is the government
Okay.
health system. So for example, if you have a fall and you go to hospital, the government will cover it, right? They won't cover the ambulance. The ambulance will cost it's like a $500 like call out for the ambulance, but like basic stuff will be covered. If it's like a specialty like surgery, no, you have to pay. But like if you're just like you get COVID, for example, you're covered.
Right.
But most people have private health insurance because you get taxed additional money. There's like a surcharge if you earn over like 90,000 Australian a year, which is like 70,000 US or something, so not much. Then they charge a whole bunch of extra taxes on you, so then it's more expensive not to have private health.
Yeah.
So they kind of force you into it.
Right. Yeah. I have had denials with insurance. It was in California, and they were pretty traumatic, I have to say. It all started out through transitioning. I had initially, I did 3 rounds of surgery because I couldn't afford all of them back to back. And I also didn't want to get too much surgery and then not recognize myself because there was someone that I knew that had done that. And I had known them for a very long time, but it was to the point that people were introducing themselves to her because
They
they didn't look,
That happens to me.
But yeah, so I was very careful. But my first surgery was the most expensive one. I didn't know you could do insurance, and so I paid for everything myself. But it was also kind of at the forefront of transgender becoming big in the U.S. and
Yeah.
everything. And
How long ago was that?
That was in it was 8 years ago. So but yeah, then I started to hear people were like, oh, you can get insurance to pay for it, and I figured out that they made a law in California that they had to cover it. It's medically necessary for treatment of gender dysphoria.
Right.
And so I did all the research, hours and hours, and then I presented it to them and they denied it. And then I finally got I appealed it, and then they hooked me up with like the LGBT section of Blue Shield of California. And they were like so helpful. Like I did a phone call with them. They're like, okay, here's what you need to do. And then yes, we can cover this, this, and this. And I was like, great. Here's the surgeon I'm going to. And they're like, okay, well, basically every plastic surgeon was out of network. So, but I had PPO, so you could do out of network, and they have to create a contract with the surgeon. And you can get it covered. But then when they went to talk to the surgeon, like they were trying to make him sign something that they could pay like whatever they wanted, which could be like $0. And so they couldn't come to an agreement. And I had been on a wait list. Like he had a 2-year-long wait list, and my time for my appointment came, and I didn't want to be delayed any further. And I had already worked so hard. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to front the money myself and then like fight it in post. Cause they had already said they were going to cover it and whatnot. So, I did that, and then, they denied everything. And I was like, wait, how you guys said this was going to be covered? Like, it's not my fault that you guys can't have a proper conversation. And then I ended up having to open up a case with like the board of California that oversees like insurance companies. And it wasn't until like 2 years later after their involvement that I finally got the money that I was promised, and they like made them pay me more than I would have got.
Interest, please.
But yeah, it was just like a really horrible process. Like thankfully I was able to have the resources to front the money, but a lot of people couldn't do that. And I was just like, it was just so traumatic. And I think the most stressful part was like, I had all my ducks in a row, and they're like, okay, you can do this. And then you'd call in after it's denied and be like, hey, what's going on? And you'd have to explain the whole story to them. Yeah. And you're on hold for hours. Then you follow up the next week and give them the code or whatever. And then this person has no idea. So you have to start all over again. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, I'm like literally going insane. I'm trying to work a full-time job. I don't have time for this. But so yeah, I'm like, I can't imagine someone who has like cancer or whatever, like going through that. And so I think, while this was kind of, you said there was other ways to do that. I don't know if there was, because honestly, I feel like a lot of the people that are in these situations where they desperately need help from their insurance, they can't work for change because they're dead. That's honestly what I think. Because my mom just recovered from cancer. And I think, how much did they say that this company, United Healthcare, profited last year? It was like 23 or 32 billion. I don't know. It was a lot of billions of dollars. My mom saw something that they had like denied like 17 billion in like insurance claims or something. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I don't think insurance providers should be for-profit companies. And so I think I don't think it's their fault. I think the U.S. needs to get involved, and they should be required to be fiduciaries for you, and they should be not for profit. I still think they need to be able to haggle with the doctors and stuff. Otherwise, the premiums would become too much. But I just don't see like CEOs making like $10 million a year off of this as helping people. They're not like actually doing what they're supposed to do. I don't know.
That's very true. I mean, they're in the wrong business, but I think, to me, it's just another example of corporate America. It's seen as a business, right? Mm-hmm. So I think you're right. We need to reframe the fucking purpose of healthcare.
Yeah.
Right? I think, but whenever, from like an outsider's perspective, when I think of America, one of the big things that people think is like a deterrent from like considering moving here is the healthcare system. Just because if you get stuck in it, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
There's horror stories of people like having an injury and like basically paying it off for the rest of their life.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I had an appendectomy in 2017 on Valentine's Day because, I'm romantic. And I got a breakdown of what they covered when they did. And like my anesthesia alone was like $17,000.
That's crazy.
I had to pay it, but I still, it's like you look
That's
at
how much they charged?
Yeah, it was insane.
Is that how much?
I went to Burning Man with an anesthesiologist, and they tell me how much they made per day.
They are banging
a lot
money.
of money.
Yeah, I have a friend whose husband's an anesthesiologist, and they don't worry about money. But I mean, you have someone's life.
But 70,000, like that's like
17,000.
17,000.
Yeah,
okay,
for one operation.
That's a lot.
And what with it?
Just that was just for anesthesia, not the whole thing, or
the whole thing was like 32.
Okay,
it's like half. Yeah.
I mean, but they're also you could die so easily, and your life is in their hands. So they should get good money, but it just seems like so much money.
Yeah, no, definitely, it's crazy. Yeah, I got bit by a rattlesnake, and I think it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars, but insurance thankfully covered that one. I was on my parents' insurance at the time too, so their company. Good. Yeah, because so one thing for me is like in America, like we don't we have like Obamacare and Medicare and stuff, but like if you do work, like if your company doesn't provide you with insurance, like you have to figure out a way to get it. And so I've pretty much been on Obamacare like all since I got off my parents because I'm a gig worker. I work in television and I've never worked for like a company. Like I always go from like job to job and I've never had that. So I don't know.
You're your own boss. So you're your own boss. And you have to get your insurance.
So it's like a little complicated and I don't know. I see a bunch of people like arguing online, like especially right now, because I think someone with the Trump administration wants to completely privatize all health insurance plans, which I think is kind of the opposite of what I think they should do right now, especially. Yeah. But I don't know. Like I've seen people so mad. They're like, oh, we're like giving illegals like insurance. But I think of it this way, like if you're on the subway or just at a restaurant passing by somebody that doesn't have insurance and they're sick with a cold and they don't go to the doctor, they could give you that cold whether you have insurance or not. And then you're going to maybe take off days of work. Yeah. And so the GDP is going to go down. But if you pay for everybody to have insurance, they get stuff taken care of quicker. Yeah. They're healthier longer. Then they're going to get more work done, take less days off work for everybody, and the GDP will go up. And so I think that in a way it could somehow end up paying for itself somewhat if you give basic health care to people. And it doesn't have to be like extraordinary, just like the basics of like, oh, I'm sick, I need to go to the doctor type thing. And then also for emergency care. But I think we definitely do need some sort of reform. And so, you know, while it is gruesome that all this happened, I think it's like so necessary to talk about it and and I'm glad people are talking about it and sharing their stories.
Yeah. Did you guys see the picture of it's a meme going around where it's Luigi and like
I've seen so many memes. It's my whole
he's shirtless and he's in like in the jungle somewhere and someone had taken a suction cup dildo and just sucked it to the TV. Just said, mood. It's just gonna happen. This is my night. I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. And the thing is like this big. Like,
I just love how they opened his bag and found Monopoly money in it.
Yeah,
Please explain.
What do you think that was about? Let's spread some conspiracies.
I think it may have been a planted decoy as like a statement about like it's basically the whole idea of like the cost of healthcare and like they're fucking denying everything. It's just almost like a game of Monopoly because like, you know how it's like it's a game of chance. Like the money doesn't really mean anything. Yeah. It's kind of like a whole, like this whole system is like a big game that we're stuck in this game. I think that's what it kind of meant to me anyway.
Right.
Did you read his manifesto? I tried to. It's very hard to read.
You tried to? Wait, why is it so hard to read? It's just the handwriting or?
My family has a history of mental illness. So like this is something I read and I heard mental illness. It was just heavy. It's just, and he doesn't like Japanese people. Like it's just this very.
He doesn't like Japanese people. Why? It's random.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
It comes across as like he's talking against them.
Wait, what did they have to do with healthcare?
Nothing.
Nothing but healthcare.
His manifesto goes all over the place.
Just doesn't like Japan. Just added that in.
Yeah.
Fuck the healthcare system and fuck you, Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe we should do a reading on it.
I can get Perplex. Have you guys used Perplexity? It's an AI app, and it can summarize like in real time what things are being published on the internet.
Yeah. You know, but I feel like we haven't really heard like from Luigi. They've done like a good job of like making sure he can't even talk to cameras.
Mm-hmm. His lawyers are probably telling him not to say anything, right?
Well, before he had the lawyers, he was trying to talk to camera when they were like transporting him, and then the police like grabbed him away. They're like, "Nope, you're not talking to camera," which I thought was a little abnormal.
Well, I'm sure that the healthcare company stepped in and said, hey, guys, you need to make sure he doesn't speak to anybody at all.
It's a 3-page document. Criticized U.S. healthcare system as profit-driven and inefficient, noting that it is the world's most expensive, yet ranks 42nd in life expectancy. He describes healthcare executives as parasites and corporate America as corrupt and overly powerful. The manifesto framed his actions as a response to systemic greed and injustice, claiming he was the, quote, first to face it with brutal honesty. So he must have had his own personal experience then if he was the first to face it.
Yeah, they're saying because he had like a spine issue. I think he had to get surgery.
His own back injury and surgery as part of his grievances and drew comparisons to Ted Kaczynski's ideology. Don't know Ted Kaczynski, but let's have a look what his ideology is.
But yeah, perhaps he's in a lot of pain. I know my mom recently experienced some shoulder pain after getting some lymph nodes removed. And
Jesus, that would hurt.
she was going crazy. She kept telling the doctors, and they didn't like believe her. And so she like literally lost it one day at them like on the phone, and then they had to like follow up with a phone call, and be like, "Oh, you can't talk that way to us," blah blah blah.
Yeah, wow.
But then like it turned out like she actually had like pulled something in her shoulder, and so now she's in physical therapy of it. But like when you're in pain, it's like literally all you can think of it. Like, and you get just so short and terse with people. And so if he really was in a lot of pain or something, I could see like that could make somebody snap, especially if they're going through all the hurdles and stuff like I had to.
Yeah, that makes sense. In Australia, they're very strict with like pain medication now. Like I just had a friend who had spinal surgery, and he's like, I am in agony. And they were like, no, you're not. And he's just like, I am in fucking agony. Please give me more. Like even when I had my facelift, I was given like 4 codeine and that's it. And I was like, fuck, I had to have someone like drop off some extra codeine for me. Cause like after like a day, I was like, now I feel fucking everything. And it was like hell. I mean, that was elective, of course, but I'm still in fucking pain. Like,
yeah, I avoided it with like all my surgeries because I knew it was bad, and I was like trying not to like put stuff in my body. But then my last surgery, I did have like a little bit of pain. And so I went, and they gave me like they probably gave me like 12 to 20 pills, like a lot. And so I started taking it, and I felt absolutely amazing. And then instead of resting, like on bed rest, like I was supposed to, I was just like thinking, I like wrote a TV show that I went and pitched for the next several months. Like I pitched it to like MTV, like all the big players. And then I also painted this painting behind me. And
after surgery on codeine?
On hydro, yeah. And so I like reached out to the doctor. Was like, hey, could I get a refill? And and he's like, I could, but I have to handwrite it. I'm in New York right now. I was in LA at the time, so I didn't. But I was like, oh my God, like I totally understand how people get hooked because it made me like the most productive member of society.
Well, we just had so the number one radio presenters in Australia, Carl and Jackie O. Do you remember them when you were in Australia? They've been around for a long time.
I don't know.
Anyway, she just came out on like radio in her tell her book that she's been addicted to painkillers.
Okay.
And so like she's had to go to rehab and everything, but she's saying how easy it is in radio. So she was taking it before she'd go on radio.
Oh,
in the morning, and she'd be like,
good.
"Good morning, everyone."
Yeah.
And she was always so pleasant and happy. And then she's like, "I've been on painkillers for years." But I was speaking to a friend about it, and they're like, "Oh, women these days, like they're just on get a real drug addiction, painkillers."
No, it's very
it's a thing.
powerful.
It's a lot of people have I think in the US there's like millions of people that are addicted to painkillers, right?
Yeah. They've made a lot more strict now. So it's very hard to get them.
I had my wisdom teeth pulled out years ago, and I remember I got 4 pills. It was just to get me through the week, through just 4 days because it was really, really painful. And I remember sitting on the couch and like just like staring at the TV going, I love commercials. They're so great. And like I was so high. I was like, this is a problem. Like I don't want any more, but it did help. I mean, I was in a lot of pain.
Were you just like skipping through the shows and just going straight to the commercials? You're just like watching.
This is back when this was back in the 90s too, so it was very different back then. So I was.
Oh, 90s commercials were so good.
They were good, but I had to get up and turn the channel. There was no computers to watch them on.
Yeah, so they were.
I was watching it on a big TV with the manual.
Yeah. How do you think this will affect the Nintendo enterprise, like Mario and Luigi? Do you think they're seeing like a boost in sales, or I don't know?
Well, like I know like a lot of these like games now. I'm not really much of a gamer myself, but I know like a lot of them do put characters into the games. Mm-hmm. So maybe United Healthcare could do their own collab with Luigi and make like a Mario Nintendo game.
Mario Kart.
Wait, what?
Luigi
Where it's like
Kart.
CEOs versus Mario and Luigi, or
something
what?
like that. I don't know. That would be real fun.
Or you'll see like a CEO is something you can shoot when you're playing like that. What's that driving game? I do not game at all either.
Oh,
and
that's
Grand Theft Auto.
yes.
Yeah.
GTA.
Lindsay Lohan was in there too.
Was she in it?
Yeah, she sued because they used her likeness.
Oh wow.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they snuck in like a corporate CEO that you could run over with your car just as a
Oh my God.
as a gag.
I love Grand Theft Auto. I haven't played it in forever, but
I haven't played
it's
it
a good way to
forever
learn
either.
the cities because they actually like do kind of
they do kind of
do a good
resemble
job
them.
of them. Yeah.
I haven't played in years either. I just recently did a drag show as the Grand Theft Auto hooker though, and just like I learned the like move.
Oh, the way to walk.
Yes. Everyone was like, "What the?" They loved it, but it
That's
was very
so
strange.
funny. I love it. Yeah. Do you guys think anything good will come from this? You know, someone lost their life. Do you think it could actually change stuff and affect other people's lives, or do you think that they're just gonna ignore it.
If I'm honest, no. I think it's just going to be a new story. It'll have its cycle. It'll go quiet before the trial. There'll be the trial, and then nothing will come
I
out
don't
of
think
it.
it's gonna go quiet at all. This is the biggest thing since like O.J. Simpson. I feel like with how much attention it's
But
getting.
do you think the healthcare, nothing has happened so far? I mean, it will take some time. But
No,
do you
I think
they're
something
actually gonna
has
do
happened.
something?
I think
They haven't changed any of their
I
policies.
think Blue Cross Blue Shield reversed something the next day because they had the day before. I believe they had put a time limit on anesthesia,
Right.
and then the next day after that happened, they're like, "Just kidding, we're not going to put a time limit." Because
Right.
people could be going through surgery without anesthesia. Like, and I've always woken up like not in my plastic surgeries. I've woken up during a colonoscopy, which was hell.
Oh my God.
I remember that it was so bad. I went to Bali
That's
and
the
I
one
got
time you don't want to be.
I used the tap for drinking or for toothpaste or to brush my teeth in Bali, and I got parasites. And I didn't find out until I was like working at a summer camp in Yosemite. And I was like, I can't go to the bathroom. And then I had to do like a colonoscopy after to make sure everything was fine. And I woke up in so much pain. And I saw like there's a big big screen of
saw
my
your hole.
insides.
Yeah.
Like projected on the screen. And I yelled there was like 3 doctors around me. And I yelled, stop. And they like looked at each other like, what the fuck is happening? And then they put me on so much that like by the time my family picked me up, I could barely come to. And so I couldn't like say something to my parents, be like, hey, like something fucked up kind of happened.
They didn't
like
put enough.
They were done with me. I didn't have to go back in. Yeah.
I have heard that if you've been partying, like in the period slightly before a surgery and you have anesthesia, you need more. Were you partying right before?
No. There wasn't that. I wasn't partying for that. No, I was
Okay.
like, yeah, it's not my plastic
But you
surgery.
can't really because you got to do the prep for it, and I've done that a
that's
couple of times. And
excruciating.
that's,
Wait, what was
have
the
you guys
prep?
seen Hacks
Yeah,
where
you
they
can't-
do the colonoscopy prep party?
No.
Oh
An episode
yeah,
of
you
Hacks?
can. No, okay.
But they all come and they just drink the
That fluid.
the thing, but they just drink martinis and they're absolutely fucked and they keep running to the toilet. It's a great episode.
Every time I've woken up from anesthesia, I've been crying. Does that say something about me?
Really?
It's a depressive,
yeah.
so maybe, but that's a bit strange.
It is, but it's just like not.
I
like
always wake
bawling,
up
but
going,
like
"Oh my
tears.
god, did I have to wake up? This was gorgeous." Like,
Yeah,
it's
it
a
was
nice
It
sleep,
was a
right?
good sleep. Oh my goodness.
when I've had my plastic surgery, I've always woken up and been like, oh, "Did you guys do it yet?" Like, because
Yeah, you always
for
forget.
whatever reason I don't realize that any time has passed. Because
Yeah.
when you sleep normally, like you wake up and know that
Time has
you
passed.
can tell how long you've been
Yeah.
sleeping usually.
Yeah.
But with the anesthesia, I was like, "Oh, did you guys do it?" Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But don't they administer the anesthesia? You fall asleep. Do they give you something to wake you back up again, or does the anesthesia just kind of run out and you wake up?
I
normally?
think sometimes they might give you something to wake back up again.
Yeah.
Because for my plastic surgery, they needed me like awake to transport me. They took me, they put me like to the basement, like in a black car, like where no one could see. This was like in Beverly Hills. It's what they do for all the celebrities. And then they like whisk you away to this center, and then they also like drop you off in a basement, and you just take the elevators. That way, like no one can see that you got
Oh,
surgery.
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty
No,
serious.
I've done all mine awake.
Oh, huh?
I always do mine awake.
Oh no, that's horrible. I could never do that. That'd be too much trauma. For the voice surgery for trans people, which is kind of a ripoff because it's like $15,000 and has the 50%.
Accurate, like efficacy.
Yeah,
Success.
like it doesn't always work, and the biggest side effect is you could like lose volume or like become mute or something.
Oh, no.
Like so, I've never wanted to do it just because I'm in comedy. I'm like, oh, it's too big a risk for me. But yeah, I had a roommate who got it, and yeah, she was like describing to me what it was like having to be awake the whole time. They're like fucking with her vocal cords, and I was like, oh no, I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to handle that, like seeing the blood and everything.
Nope.
Oh my god.
Nope.
I had to have an endoscopy a couple times because I have bad esophagus, and for one of them I was awake, and they literally numb everything here, but they shove things down your throat,
can still feel
which I'm used to.
Yeah.
But
Now we are to the fun part of the podcast where we're the funny police. And so we're going to decide whether or not we think the whole Luigi and everything around it is funny. Do you guys think it's funny? Do you think it's a sign of the times? Do you think this is preparing us for what might happen the next 4 years? I don't know.
I think all three. It's funny.
It's funny.
Prepare us for the next 4 years. Whatever. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's all three of them.
I think what was really solidified to me was not only that this is a classic case of corporate America, gun violence, and dissatisfaction with what's happening in America and probably in the world at large, but really it solidified my understanding that the internet can come up with any kind of meme for any situation.
Yes.
And someone will always find a way to make a killer be hot
Yeah.
And funny.
and funny.
Yeah. So do you think it's funny or no?
I think it may be also because of his name.
Luigi.
It's like probably not typically when you hear of a murderer, you hear Luigi. I don't know. I think that had something to do with it.
yeah.
for
It's
sure.
just kind of silliness element
yeah.
and stuff.
If his name was Bob Smith, I don't know if it would be the same.
Bob Smith.
Yeah.
Luigi sounds like a nice guy name. He lives down the street. He's nice. I like him. He's funny.
You've been over for pasta.
He
Yeah.
fixed my sink.
Yeah.
Then he shot somebody. So it's not such a it's not a bad
Yeah.
person name. Luigi. It's a good.
Yeah. I'm going to say I think this is funny.
Let's go.
And I think it's like, I don't think he should go to prison. I think he should be elected to be president or something, because that's the track that America's on right now.
yeah.
Just the way that people are voting and everything. And I think stuff is going to get a lot more crazy. We got the Republicans in office. Guns are going to have a lot more rights coming out, especially through the Supreme Court, which they just, I think they broadened what kind of bump stocks you could have in the last year. So they're giving more rights to gun people. And I don't know. I think it's going to kind of turn into a circus. And I
already
also,
is a circus.
I'm really ready for the series to come out, because I had just finished the Menendez brothers. I think I watched like 2 documentaries
yeah.
and then the Netflix series.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
literally
probably
over
already
Thanksgiving.
producing.
There's
already
four.
probably a
There's 4
script.
on schedule to be made documentaries on him so far.
No, every single like network is going to do a documentary. That's for sure.
I would like to see how what Murphy does it. That might be very good.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that as well. But anyway, where can we find y'all, Gary?
I am doing comedy throughout the city. I have a monthly show at the Metropolitan Bar every third Tuesday. It's called Funny Haha Funny Queer, and you just were on it, and you were fabulous, and I loved it.
Yes, so good.
Yeah, just around everywhere there's a light and a microphone, I will be.
You can see me making ridiculous videos about cosmetic procedures, treatments, etc. at my Instagram at Tomi.Grainger and on TikTok at Tomi.Queen. I can't change my handle on TikTok. They don't let you. Once you get verified, you have to keep the same handle.
Oh, I
So
didn't even know
annoying.
you could give. I'm still like a TikTok newbie.
Well, it might be banned in
Do you
3
pay to
weeks
get there?
anyway.
Yeah.
No, you have to apply.
Well, you're not in the US. You'll still have a TikTok.
I also have a TikTok, but I don't know if it's worth investing now for you guys.
Yeah.
We'll see on the 17th of Jan.
I don't know. I think a lot of us could be moving in the next 4 years, just
Get
constantly on
Get
vacation.
the hell out of Dodge.
Well, there's
Yeah.
a cruise line that's doing a 4-year.
Oh,
Vacation?
no, I'm not doing a fucking cruise line, bitch. I'm doing a yacht line. Yeah, that's how we do it. Yeah, you can find me, Ashley Ryan TV. We also have a Instagram for The Funny Police, so that's just The Funny Police. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Tell us what you think of Luigi, if he's your type, or how much jail time he should do, if any at all. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.